Welcome back to Tea on Tuesdays with Lady T. We are continuing the discussion of who I am in this season. As you all know, I'm in the season of empty nesting, preparing for my new normal in a couple of months, learning to get used to the silence and taking back my identity. My husband, Jeremy Bowie. That's what I call him. I know it's funny that I call him by his entire name, but that's what I do. He is a lot different than me. So when he is faced with the question, what are y'all gonna do now that all the kids are gone? He never rolls his eyes. You wanna know how he responds? Whether I'm standing in the midst of it or not. He smiles and says, it's just gonna be us. Or he looks at me and says, you and me. Depending on who's around, I give off a fake laugh. Yeah, you keep saying that. And then I give this look to the side. So today, I find myself thinking, who is that man? I mean, I know him, but who is he, really? Do not mistake this. I love my husband dearly, so let's not get it twisted. I'm aware that I'm speaking candidly about my personal life. The disclaimer is there is no marital problem. We good. But I have to be honest and call hands-on moms like me to the carpet. We can become so obsessed with our children that too often we forget about our husbands who are trying to raise our kids beside us. But moms, we can be like magicians and simply make them disappear. I know I did. And I didn't realize it until he began responding to the empty nest question. It's going to be you and me. And I'm like, my God, it's almost like he's a stranger. Like, what am I going to do with him? Listen, unhealthy obsessions with our kids is problematic. When children become our only focus, whether we want to admit it or not, we can sometimes totally disregard the man or woman who is raising, loving, supporting, encouraging, and sacrificing right alongside us. We ignore the person who has been on the team with us the entire time. And it's so unfair. There are his or her kids too. I admitted to a friend some time ago, and he's a married father, which is important to know. I admitted that I have a huge bubble around my kids, sort of like a protective shield that keeps other people out and doesn't let people in. And he just looked at me square in the eye, and he was like, yeah, shaking his head in a defeated way. His eyes were saying, they're my kids too. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, Jeremy's boy face flashed before my eyes. And I got it and needed to do something about this, like right away. Listen, empty nesting hurts worse because we've forgotten, in most cases, that there's someone else on the team. Kids have two parents. And if you're all to pieces like me, feeling like with all of them gone and you're alone, we probably unintentionally made our spouses, our life partners, our co-parents invisible. We've been living within a framework rooted in an irrational ideology that we are protecting our children. But in reality, we have created an obsessive, one-sided connection, which is an unhealthy attachment. The bubble we've created around our children that lets no one in or out has robbed us of cultivating other important relationships, leaving our spouses, our life partners, or co-parents feeling isolated and less important, as if they're intruding in a space they rightfully belong in. Shame on me. Jeremy Bowie's and other fathers matter too. So here's the tea for this Tuesday. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife. That's taken from Genesis 2, verse 24. God is reminding me, not to bash me, but only to hold me accountable, that my husband, he made me first. He left his primary relationship to establish a new one with me. I did not cleave back to him. I cleave to my kids. My poor husband is waving a flag. Hey, you over here. They're leaving now, so I finally get my turn. And honestly, that was not how this thing was supposed to be. He's never said a mumbling word. He just played second with honor and grace. He loved me through it, and he's still waiting. So in my reflective mode, I realized that my husband really loves me and continued to make me a priority while I lived in a bubble with my kids and gave him occasional visitation. And he still wants to be my friend. He still wants to be my husband. He still wants to be my boyfriend. So to answer the question, who is that man? I know who he is. He is a man who cleaved to his wife and enjoyed watching her love and care for our kids, even though there were too many moments that he was left out. Am I a horrible wife? Absolutely not. I just made the mistake most mothers make. I made my babies bigger than life, bigger than my husband, bigger than myself, bigger than God. Moms, if we're not careful, our children will become our idols. So how do we fix this? Pop that bubble, like right now. It is that important. We look at our spouse, our partner we love, that person who supports us through it all, the person who has also been carrying the weight of the family, who leads with love, who loves us as Christ loves the church, that person we do life with and share our precious jewels with. We look them square in the eyes and say, I apologize that you were not a priority. Then ask him or her to join you on a date and don't let them pay. They may put up a fuss because they are generous, but stand your ground and insist they'll allow you to do it without compromise. We owe this to them. So push back hard, then harder. Be courageous and explain why. Then do it again and again. Admit, I was so blind in my obsession that I did not realize you were not in the bubble. And don't just promise not to do it again. Incorporate it into your daily routine. Reintroduce yourself to your love. Have a conversation on the date and don't mention the kids. They will probably be in a state of shock. Just go with it. They really don't know you outside of that bubble. Make this relationship your priority and mean it. They deserve it. Come back next week for another episode of Tea on Tuesdays with Lady T. In this season, we are sipping tea, minding our own business, and having the conversations that matter. I am Reverend Tiana Bowie, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Wait, but before I go, lean in. Don't beat yourself up about this one. If you've been making the mistake I've been making, I'm just learning to look at it from Jeremy Bowie's lens. When we learn better, we do better. Love y'all. Bye for now.